Hello and welcome to another technical analysis tutorial. In this tutorial, I'd like to talk about the Bollinger Bands width indicator. Here on TradingView, you can find it if you just type in Bollinger Bands, and it's called the Bollinger Bands width indicator. Now you can use it together with the Bollinger Bands, which you can see here. So this is basically the upper and the lower band of the Bollinger Bands, and this is the width indicator, and it refers to, as I said, basically the width of the Bollinger Bands. You actually don't need both, but I've put them both on this chart just to visualize what is actually happening. So you can use the Bollinger Bands width indicator to find breakouts and start to trade breakouts. So the way you can use it is you're actually looking for a period on the Bollinger Bands here, for example, where they are very narrow for a very long time. So that means we are pretty much in a range market. From basically here, from March till May 21, we've been in a range market. So we've moved sideways really. Yes, we're in a slight uptrend, but pretty much we were in a range market, not really moving up in a clear way or down in a very clear way. And by the way, this indicator works on all time frames, and it works pretty much on all time frames. I'm currently on the daily time frame, and what you can see here, if you have a period where the Bollinger Bands width is very small, you can see that here on the indicator down here. I've actually highlighted it in yellow so you can clearly see it, and this is where we started to see some sort of a horizontal development. So you're looking for a period that actually has been lasting for a while, and ideally you want to be able to draw a horizontal resistance line or support line. So, and you can clearly do that here, and at the point then when you can see a breakout out of that resistance line, that is a possible trade entry for many people and for traders, and you could use that as a trade entry, and in this case it would have been a great trade entry. You can see that here at the point where exactly where that line was crossed, we saw a breakout, and this is where really the market moved from, even if you had entered the trade here, it started from 150 to over 230. So a really nice profit you could have made here in a long trade. And as I said, you don't need the Bollinger Bands indicator itself, but you can use the Bollinger Bands width indicator. And we'll have another example here. If we scroll further to the right, if we continue, you can see actually here again, you were able to draw a horizontal resistance line, not maybe quite horizontal, but maybe even slightly descending. And again, for a long period of time, it wasn't really moving a lot. It was a very low reading on the indicator, on the width indicator. You can see that here, even a slow downtrend. However, at the point when that line actually crossed the resistance line, or the indicator actually crossed above the resistance line, that is when a very, very strong breakout took place. And actually on the chart, you can see that horizontal resistance line as well. Exactly at that point, there was a breakout. And at no point before, there was a real breakout here. Probably just need to adjust that line a little bit here. But there was no breakout. But when that breakout essentially took place, then we saw it breaking out to the upside very, very strongly. So it is a really good indicator, just showing the width of the actual Bollinger Bands. Of course, if the width are pushed out aggressively, that is when the price is moving as well, is starting to trend very strongly. So in this case, to the upside, and that is for many people then a possible trade entry to continue to trade with a trend. It gives you a very early potentially entry into trades, and you could have entered here at around 150, maybe even at 168 if you had waited for a potential retest which actually didn't take place. And then you could have stayed in the trend until, maybe when that peak was reached here at that point, and that when they started to contract again. So you would have made a gain of at least 170 to 290, would have been some very nice profit. And that's just another way of trading breakouts and identifying breakouts and getting into breakout trades at a very early time. And Bollinger Bands are a great way of trading that way. So really interesting indicator. And again, it works on all time frames. So hopefully that was useful, good explanation. By the way, I'm using the standard settings that you can find on TradingView, and we can have a quick look at them before we finish the video. And go on settings, then it's the length as 20, source of close, and standard deviation is 2. Alright, so hopefully you liked that video. If you did, please smash the like button, leave a comment for the algorithm, and please also subscribe if you haven't already done so for more daily content on technical analysis and trading. Thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!